I'm Haxann. Welcome to the FreeFormKnits podcast. It is episode who knows. It is late at night. It's Monday the 1st of March, and we're trying out the lighting. It seems pretty okay right now, so there's that. But I'm going to come here and show my latest works in progress. Goodness knows it's been a while. So let's just start a bit rough, but that's okay. Places you can find me. You can find me on Instagram as the FreeForm Knitter, and on Ravelry as Haxann Evers. I know my own usernames. So let's start with what I'm wearing. What I'm wearing is actually something you've never seen before. I'm wearing this crocheted cardigan. It is a boxy style cardigan. It's actually my second official crocheted garment for myself. And I really love it. It is crocheted out of, I love this yarn. I don't remember this colorway. Just a pink and a gray. I was inspired to make a cardigan like this. I had seen Sorel's Everyday cardigan, which is a really good, popular crochet cardigan pattern, but I kind of got obsessed with the idea of doing it all in one piece. I love knitting my sweaters that way. Having a sweater that is seamless. So I wanted to do the crochet sweater that way. So I started out wanting to do that pattern, and then I kind of didn't do that pattern, like, at all. Got different gauge, different numbers, everything, but I was inspired originally by that pattern. So actually for this cardigan, I started from the top down. I started with the back, and I don't know if I'll be able to, that just made noise. I started with the back panel, and there's actually no shaping up here, which I realized with these type of cardigans I probably should do some shoulder shaping for myself. But I just started with the back panel. I worked it straight down, and then I picked up and did one front, did the other front, and then I just joined it and worked all the way down. So it's too awkward to stand up and show you, but it comes like past my hip. It's a good length. And then I just picked up and did, I was bored, so I only did like barely 3/4 sleeves you can get. And then I did a single crochet edging all around the neckline. And then for the hem, I've never done a successful crocheted rib because I think I know how to do it, and then I do something that is not crocheted rib. But I ended up doing this, like, it's getting awful now. It's like this, I did front post single crochet one stitch and then just a regular double crochet in the next stitch. And so it made this kind of more like a waffle stitch texture, but it's fine. And yeah, I really love it. Oh, I have an end poking out. Is this inside out? This inside out? Yes, it is. Actually, speaking of ends, I actually have the last end. I haven't woven this in. I don't know why, but I haven't. Okay, so that's what I'm wearing, and I actually have, so it's been a while. I've done a lot of crafting. I have a lot of crocheted finished objects that I'll be sharing with you tonight. So first, and they're all on the floors. Forgive me for jumping out of frame. But my next crocheted finished objects are actually these doilies. So I don't remember the patterns. They'll be in the show notes. I'll have links to the free pattern websites where I found these patterns. And show notes will be linked down below. Take you to my website, and that's where I'll have everything listed. So there's this one, which is, oh, actually I did this one first. I kept it simple, and I'm so sorry, it's the white yarn that's getting blown out. But I started very simple, and you can see my showing up very prominently seen. It's not that prominent in real life. So it's a very simple, very outward circle, and then it had this lace, and actually the pattern ended with the picot, but I couldn't for the life of me figure out how they wanted me to do the picot, and I didn't want to figure it out, so I just didn't do it. But yeah, there's this one, and there's this one, which is much more lacy, and I think I made a mistake, because it doesn't quite want to lay flat all the way. And I think I stopped this one short too. Crocheted lace is not my thing. I used a 3.5mm hook, I believe, for these, which is bigger than is what was recommended in the patterns. I'm not good with fine gauges, and also with this yarn. I used Lion Brand's True Boo, it's called. It's 100% rayon from Bamboo yarn. It's very soft, but it is very splitty, so it's very, I think just a quality of yarns that come from Bamboo, they split very easily. So, and this is a 100 grams skein, I believe. Yeah, it's 100 grams, and still have plenty left. I had originally intended to do 3. These are going to be a gift. I thought I was going to do 3. I probably won't. They were fun, they were something different, so. Okay. Keeping on the crochet train, I have decided, I've been doing this for a couple of years. Easter is in April, and for Easter I like to crochet little toys and give them out as gifts to my immediate family. So I've been doing that and prepping for that. And I've actually been crocheting pieces and then sewing together at a later date, which is not the smartest idea because it takes me a while to get around to sewing them then. But I have a bunch of them finished and I want to talk about them because they're all from the same website. It's an amazing website. So I'm going to bend down and get them. Okay, so I'll show 4 of them. So the website I'm talking about is the Wolf Dreamers blog. It will be linked in my show notes. I've used this website so many times. She has so many free crochet amigurumi patterns, and they're so good quality. So here are a couple that I've made. Spheal, the Pokemon. He's missing his white spots, but that's okay. I've made the Mario mushroom. I've made Luna, and I made Rowlet. So I also want to talk about, in the past, my biggest problem with crocheting stuffies like this has been the eyes. Usually I will, like the eyes will call for felt, but I never had felt, and even if I did, I didn't want to sew it on. So I've always crocheted pieces, and just like did little things for the eyes. Just crocheted my own eyes, just whatever I could do. But I recently found in Hobby Lobby they have these sheets of felt, and I actually have a piece here. They come in, it's got little pieces on it. These sheets of felt. So I decided to kind of up my amigurumi game and get felt and force myself to sew it on. But I was pleasantly surprised to find that this felt, actually, it's sticky felt. I don't know if this is a common thing for felt, but I'm so surprised to realize that it's sticky. You just stick it on. It's brilliant, and I think it's so cool. So all of these little toys, like I said, the patterns are on the Wolf Dreamers blog, and all the yarns are I Love This Yarn in various colorways. They're 100% acrylic, and I crochet them. I usually crochet with a oyster root yarn with a 5mm hook. Had to cut because the first sticked on. But all I was saying was about the toys. I recently, instead of using a 5mm hook to crochet them, I've been using a 4.5mm hook. I find that doesn't hurt my hands, which is why I stick with the 5 anyway, because I know with toys you're supposed to keep a tight gauge to keep the stuff from poking out. So I've recently started using a 4.5 hook to crochet on baby toys. That's all. Okay, so one finished object. I've recently finished this pair of socks. So here they are. This pair of shorties. So this pattern is my pattern, my shortcut heel sock recipe. Actually, it is the shortcut heel sock recipe, but I've recently been experimenting with this toe shape. This will be my hat trick toe. That's going to come in a pattern soon. Actually, I probably should grab those. Whatever. So this was made out of Knitbooks Gucci. I don't remember this colorway. What the name was. I feel like it was rainbow something. Like, it is like a muted rainbow. I don't know. I can't remember. But the heel, my shortcut heel, is knit with a contrasting yarn beam mini, which is 75% acrylic, 25% nylon. And these two socks, the self-striping colors, this is all 50 grams of bleaching. So they match perfectly. I got them to match all until this is the second sock. Because I have big feet, I have to do like 65 rounds for my foot. And because of that, and because this is self-striping on with set colors, or set color repeat, and I wanted them to match, I had ended up using finagling colors to finish this toe, and then because of that I didn't have enough to complete this toe, so I just went to the next blue stripe. So it's okay. I'm happy I'm happy that the cuffs matched, because I love how self-striping knits as a ribbed cuff. I love that. I hate if they don't match when I do that with the cuffs. I don't care if the socks don't match. Like, if I had done contrasting heels, toes, and cuffs, and did the body and self-striping, they don't have to match. I don't think that would bother me. But if I'm going to start with the self-striping, it's going to start in the ribbing, then I kind of want them to match, because otherwise then the stripes themselves could be different lengths, and I don't like that. So, those were knit on a 2.75mm needle, and I knit my socks magically. Like I said, that's my shortcut heel sock recipe. Everything will be in the show notes. Okay, so now we have moved on to whips, and I have more crocheted amigurumi toy. It is a whip. It is so close to being done. Okay, I should premise this by stating that I recently watched the prequels to Star Wars and The Mandalorian on Disney Plus, and I've always been obsessed with this ever since I watched the first Star Wars movie, you know, the originals, and saw these creatures. I loved them, and I love that they showed up in The Mandalorian. I loved that. I love the Jawas. I love them. They look a lot like a creature from another franchise, and I love those creatures. And I found, remarkably, this amazing looking pattern, a free crochet amigurumi pattern of the Jawas. And so I decided that with me making all these other crochet amigurumi toys, I had to make a Jawa. So I understand that not everyone will love the Jawas, but he's almost done. Here he is. He's so tall. Look at him. His eyes are red because I surprisingly do not have yellow felt. I do have yellow yarn, so I could conceivably make just yellow circles and sew them on, but I'll probably wait till I get the felt. But I just put the red on. I love him. So he doesn't have his hood, The pattern is really great. Actually, this dress, the Jawa dress is supposed to be brown. I don't have brown, so I just decided to do it in blue. I have to have like the felt for the belts that they wear and the hood. Actually, you make the body in this pattern, and I can actually take his dress off. You make the body, and then you make the dress. The body pattern, excellent, perfect. I love how they constructed it. You do the head separately, but the body is all in one piece, so you don't have to sew on the legs, which I loved. I would have actually done the whole thing, head to body, in one piece, had I realized that the body was bottom up. I thought it would be like top down, and I could just do it that way, but since it was bottom up, I decided to do it as recommended in one piece, and it worked out okay. The head's sewn pretty good, like usually with the separate. It's very well written, very well thought out, the proportions and everything, and just how, you know, his head's not all floppy, which I appreciate. The dress pattern, I think, like, this is a free pattern, and it's really good, but I think that there's like a typo in it. It's knit all in one piece, seamless, which was great. Like, if you can see, the sleeves kind of go up. When I put it on the Jawa, it looks okay, but I'm thinking that there's something not right in those instructions. I will also say that the hood the pattern doesn't really include instructions for the hood, so I'm kind of just making a rectangle and figuring it out myself. I haven't done that yet, but that's the plan. So, but otherwise you get a Jawa at the end of it, so it's really okay. So yeah, there he is. I love him. I love the Jawas. Mando might not, but I do. Okay, so next up I have 3 whips. So we'll start with, we'll do a little bit more knitting in here. Okay, so my next sock whip is more fleechy yarn, and usually with fleechy I've been pairing it with a mini to, you know, maximize my self-striping and keep the repeats and everything. But for this pair I decided to do something different. I've done this before, but I've taken 2 balls of fleechy. So these are the 2 colorways. This one is Lost Flakes, and this one is Aquamarine. Aquarium, not Aquamarine, Aquarium. I've taken these 2 balls and decided to make 2 separate socks using one for the contrasting heels, toes, and cuffs, and this is the body in one, and then reversing it for the next one. So here is my first sock. So you can see I used Aquamarine for the rib. Doesn't it look lovely? And I'm using Lost Lakes for the body of the sock. So I'm kind of having a hard time telling the repeat on this one. Because this one's kind of, I can't tell if the gray stripe is supposed to be this kind of mold, or if that's just a mistake in the yarn. I don't know, but I love it. So I'm almost done. I figure I'll do one full color repeat, since I don't have a second sock to worry about other than contrasting. I'll do one full repeat, and then with my size foot, I usually get a whole repeat for the foot. So yeah, fun fact, I found out that Fleechy has 5 color repeats total. If that helps anyone. Because Fleechy comes in 50 gram balls, and it picks Fleechy. It's a 75% parchment wool, 25% nylon. Okay. And these are my needles, my Chagu 40-inch 2.75 millimeter needles. And I'm just using my shortcut heel sock recipe. 64 stitches. Okay. And this is in a project bag that I've not closed correctly that I made many years ago. Just a simple knitted outside of a lining. Okay. And next whip. My next whip is in this bag. It's a crochet sweater. I decided to embrace the whole crocheting in pieces. I found that with most crochet garments, people seem to prefer, like with knitting, people seem to prefer knitting in the round seamless. That seems to be more prevalent. But I found with crochet garments, a lot of patterns seem to have you do it in one piece, and I think that might have to do with like the ease of, like, since you only have a hook in a stitch at a time, whereas with knitting, it's all balanced on the needle. I don't know. But I've decided to embrace that, and I'm knitting my next crochet sweater in panels. It's going to be kind of like an oversized t-shirt thing. It's a little more oversized than I originally intended, just due to yarn. That's fine. So here is, this will be the back panel. So what I did is I'm crocheting this. I first used this white yarn. It was the same as the ones I used for the doilies. I did a half double crochet. This will be like a split hem. And then the body, I'm doing my favorite crochet stitch of all time, and that is the V-stitch. So I actually don't think I have the yarn label for this in here. It's 100% acrylic yarn. It's a Yarn Bee brand, but it's kind of almost very similar to the rayon. I don't know what they did to the yarn to make it that way, but that's how it is. And I'm surprising how much I'm loving crocheting this up, because as I was doing this border, this yarn's very splitty, and this yarn's kind of the same. Not quite as much, and also since I'm doing double crochets as opposed to half double crochets, this chance for splitting is less. So the V-stitch is working out quite nicely. And the hook I'm using is a 4mm hook. So that's that project. I don't know what to say about it. I'm really excited for it. I think it'll be very nice. I hope to do like a V-neck in the front. I might do the V-shaping in the back too, actually. I don't know. Okay. My next whip has turned into a tail of foil, because, like, I've been wanting to make it for so long. It's a sweater. It's a sweater inspired by a store-bought sweater I saw. So I'll tell you, just grab everything. Okay, so this is a little notebook that I've decided to use to sketch out my reading ideas. Not necessarily patterns that I'm going to write, but just, you know, projects I have in mind. But right now it's full of sweaters. So this is the sweater I'm talking about. And pardon, I'm not good at drawing, but it's going to be moss stitch here, and then the sleeves are going to be purl bumps, reverse stockinette, which is something I'm surprised I'm doing, because to me reverse stockinette is the wrong side, but I'm doing it because I think the flips of color from the color changes will be so nice. So this is the sweater. Here's my math. I did the math. It worked out fine. But as always, I made a mistake. So, here's the yarn I'm using. In order. This is Yarn Bee Baby Delights, right? Sweet Delight. in the Angel colorway, Pinkaboo, Cloudy, and Airplane. So I've had this for a while. I'm excited to use them. So, where did I go wrong? First of all, look how much progress I made. I'm nearly done with the yoke. And it's white yarn, so it's all blowing out. But you can see the seed stitch that we're stuck in it. So first off, I knew right away I made a mistake. When I had planned the sweater, I thought I was going to use 6s. For some reason I swatched with 7s, and so the fabric is looser than I originally intended. So I was knitting on this, and I realized there's not a lot of difference between my front and back and my sleeves. And the reason for that is because I calculated wrong. I had figured out what I needed for my bust circumference. I figured out what I needed for the sleeves. And for some reason, I did not add those two numbers together correctly. So like with a raglan, you find out what you need for the bust, you find out what you need for the sleeves. What you should do is add those two numbers together to calculate your increase rounds. I only calculate my increase rounds by using my bust stitch count, which should have been 216 stitches, which I only need for the bust. However, I did that with, this is not making sense, I didn't add what I needed for my sleeves to that number. So my sleeves started out too big, so I'm going to finish my increases for my sleeves before I've finished increasing for the body. I have to rip out. It's very sad. But I have to. There's just no way. It's just too far of a difference. Even if I increased, started increasing 4 stitches in these front and back panels every increase round, it would not be enough. I would have to do 8, and that's way too dramatic. So I have to rip this out. I'll probably go down in needle size. Let me do it. It's very sad, but alas, alack. This is going in timeout. I don't have the time. Not the time. I don't have the desire to start it yet. I'll probably wait till the weekend till I can face it again. Oh well. I want to say you live and you learn, but I've been knitting for 10 years over, and it's you just make mistakes. So that's all I have to share with you for this episode. Hopefully I can edit it to make it some semblance of sense. It's late, the furnace keeps turning on, and you can't hear me, the furnace, so I have to keep pausing, so. But, yeah. It's been fun, and I will hopefully see you soon. Say goodbye to Jawa. Happy knitting!